Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework, because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you, because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about it. And now to hear you talk about it, and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into college. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world. So please stop using that phrase and talking about, because you don't understand what you're saying.
Whoopi Goldberg just suffered the biggest humiliation of her career, and it happened on live TV for the whole world to see. One brutal exchange on The View left her completely speechless, something no one thought was possible. For years, Whoopi has dominated The View, shutting down guests, silencing opposing voices, and controlling the conversation. But this time she met her match. The moment was so shocking that even her co-hosts, who always back her up, were left stunned. The internet exploded, ABC executives panicked, and now Whoopi's entire career could be in serious trouble. What happened, and why are people saying this could be the end of Whoopi's reign? Let's break it all down, because this story is bigger than anyone expected. For years, Whoopi Goldberg has been the undisputed queen of The View, ruling the panel with an iron fist. She doesn't just moderate the discussion, she dominates it. If a guest dares to challenge her, they're often met with eye rolls, interruptions, or outright dismissal. This isn't just speculation, it's been caught on camera countless times. Whoopi has a signature strategy when dealing with people who oppose her. First, she lets them start talking, but only for a few seconds. Then comes the strategic interruption, cutting them off mid-sentence, throwing in a sarcastic comment, or shaking her head dramatically. If that doesn't work, she raises her voice, making it nearly impossible for the guest to finish their point. And if the debate really isn't going her way, she'll suddenly pivot, say it's time for a commercial, or declare that the conversation is over. It's a brutal but effective technique, and it's why so many guests have struggled to get a word in when sitting across from her. Politicians, actors, journalists, no one is safe. Some of Whoopi's most infamous moments on The View have gone viral for all the wrong reasons. In 2018, Judge Jeanine Pirro was kicked off the show mid-segment after a fiery debate turned ugly. Whoopi didn't just argue, she lost her temper, shouted over Jeanine, and then allegedly continued yelling at her backstage. In 2022, Meghan McCain, a former co-host, revealed that working with Whoopi was miserable and that she was frequently targeted for having conservative opinions. Even Hollywood actors haven't been spared. In one viral clip, Whoopi laughed off a guest's concerns about cancel culture, dismissing them as overreacting. These moments have fueled criticism that Whoopi doesn't debate, she dictates. The audience usually backs her up, and most guests, overwhelmed by her dominant personality, end up falling apart under pressure. For years, guests have walked into the View studio unprepared, thinking they could reason with Whoopi. That was their first mistake. Most of them had no idea how ruthless she could be in a debate. But Karoline Leavitt wasn't just another guest. She wasn't there to play by Whoopi's rules. She came prepared to flip the script, and what happened next no one expected. The atmosphere on The View was already tense, but no one, not even Whoopi Goldberg herself, was prepared for what was about to unfold. The topic? Wokeness. A word that sparks outrage, controversy, and endless debates. A topic that has divided the entertainment industry, fueled viral debates, and even cost celebrities their careers. Whoopi, known for her bold, no-nonsense attitude, immediately took control of the discussion, setting the tone with her signature mix of sarcasm and authority. She smirked as she addressed Karoline Leavitt, her voice dripping with confidence. "Oh, come on now. Without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job."
I think it's an accomplishment.
She may be, But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I just
without
wanted to
us.
clarify that.
Yeah.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing.
The audience erupted in applause. Whoopi leaned back in her chair, nodding slightly as if she had already won the argument. It was a classic Whoopi move, a quick, cutting remark meant to dismiss and disarm. Her words weren't just a rebuttal. They were a power move designed to put her opponent on the defensive. Most guests would have been rattled, caught off guard, or even humiliated in front of the live studio audience. Some might have nervously laughed, mumbled a weak response, or simply let the comments slide, desperate to move on. But Karoline, she didn't flinch.
I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good. So good. In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective? More of the same of, everybody's against me. It's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
Instead of looking embarrassed or stumbling through a response, she simply smirked. A calm, confident expression crossed her face. One that said, I knew you were going to say that and I'm ready. The tension in the studio shifted in an instant. The energy in the room changed. The audience, initially roaring with laughter and approval, suddenly fell silent, sensing that something different was happening. The co-hosts glanced at each other, some shifting in their seats as if they could feel the power dynamic shifting. Whoopi had thrown the first punch, expecting an easy knockout. But what she didn't realize was that Karoline Leavitt had come to the View with a game plan, and she was about to turn the entire debate on its head. Karoline took a deep breath, leaned in slightly, and delivered a response so brutal, so calculated that the entire room shifted. Actually, Whoopi, what got me this job was hard work, talent, and the ability to think for myself. Unlike the narrative that this show pushes, success doesn't come from playing the victim. It comes from proving your worth. Silence. Whoopi's confident smirk vanished instantly. The audience, which usually erupted in applause for her, sat frozen. Even Joy Behar, normally her loudest cheerleader, looked uneasy. But Karoline wasn't done. She continued, laying out undeniable facts. Government spending on woke initiatives that waste taxpayer money, how woke policies are forcing political bias into workplaces, schools, and even entertainment, and how The View itself has a history of silencing dissenting voices while claiming to be a show that promotes discussion. Whoopi tried to interject, but Karoline wasn't giving her an inch. At that moment, something truly shocking happened. For the first time in years, Whoopi had no comeback. She opened her mouth, then shut it. Her hands moved slightly as if searching for words, but nothing came out. The air in the studio became thick with tension. The audience, expecting Whoopi to clap back, sat in stunned silence. Even the camera crew seemed unsure where to cut to, a rare moment when The View's usual rhythm was completely thrown off. Whoopi tried again, grasping for something, anything, to take back control, but she had nothing. Within hours, clips of the moment flooded the internet. Millions watched in pure disbelief. Was this really happening? Was Whoopi finally outmatched? Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok exploded with reactions. Did Whoopi just lose a debate for the first time? The Queen of The View has been dethroned. Karoline Leavitt just ended Whoopi's career in real time. Even fans who normally defended Whoopi started questioning whether she had finally gone too far. And then came the real problem: corporate backlash. Behind the scenes, ABC executives were not happy. Advertisers began pulling out, worried about the backlash. Internal discussions about The View's declining ratings gained new urgency. There were whispers about whether Whoopi was becoming a liability. Then the bombshell dropped. ABC released a statement saying Whoopi was taking a break from the show. But everyone knew what that meant. For years, Whoopi has controlled the conversation on The View. But now the cracks are impossible to ignore. The network is nervous, advertisers are rethinking their partnerships, and fans are divided like never before. The network is nervous, advertisers are rethinking their partnerships, and fans are divided like never before. Could this be the moment that finally ends Whoopi's reign? Or will she somehow manage to bounce back once again? One thing is for sure. This isn't over. What do you think? Did Whoopi go too far this time, or was Karoline's response exactly what The View needed? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification